Hush falls over the room. All right, we ready? Okay. All right, good morning, everyone, and thank you all for being here. Let me start by acknowledging the other leaders who are here with us today. First and foremost, Alderman Tony Beal, whose ward we're in, CHA CEO Tracey Scott, CHA Authority Commissioner Deborah Parker, and Board Chairperson Andrew Herlock, Chicago Public Library Commissioner Chris Brown, Chicago Public Library Board President Linda Johnson-Rice, Department of Family and Support Services Acting Commissioner Brandy Kanazi, One Summer Chicago Director Lisa Davis, CHA Altgeld Gardens resident and mother of two, Arisha Grimes, and of course my wife, First Lady Amy Eshleman, who's also here with us this morning. As mayor, one of my greatest joys is visiting a neighborhood, particularly one like this, to announce a new improvement or investment. But that joy always gives a little extra special when it's happening at a library. It was my own local library where my love of books and reading really began to grow, and the library was for me an important safe space. For me, checking out books meant checking into imaginary places and being exposed to ideas totally unlike my current circumstances, giving me the ability to explore my own curiosity and gain a deeper understanding of the world. I'm old enough for folks that when I was growing up, there were no such things as computers. What we turned to were encyclopedias, and we loved our librarians because they were our guides. They were our browsers, if you will, to help us explore the world. As someone whose family didn't have a lot of money, public libraries were an accessible gateway for me to gain knowledge, inspiration, and in many ways, freedom. Freedom of thought and inspiration to lift myself up from my current circumstances and to dream about a different kind of life. And now in the 21st century, they've become even more than that. No longer are libraries just places to check out books. They are community anchors and meeting places, early learning and job training centers, digital support spaces, and places for residents to learn a new skill or even learn about their rights. It's clear that libraries provide an incredible number of resources, and that was reinforced on the tour that we just took. But in order for them to be as impactful as possible, they must be accessible as possible to our residents, and that means 7 days a week. That's why I've been a huge advocate for expanding Sunday hours to all of our public libraries since the beginning of my administration. In June 2019, which seems like a long time ago, I joined former Chicago Public Libraries Commissioner Andrea Telly to announce the first expansion of Sunday hours, which added Sunday services to 9 branches. And now, just in time for National Library Week, I'm excited to announce a second round of Sunday hours expansions to 10 more of our library branches. Starting Sunday, April 18th, the following branches will be open Sundays from 1 to 5. Independence, Mount Greenwood, and South Shore, Back of the Yards, Chinatown, and Edgewater, Merlot, Austin, and Richard M. Daley, and the brand new state-of-the-art Altgeld branch we're in right now, which I want to especially highlight. You can clap for that. This branch is a true embodiment of what we mean when we say libraries are the social and cultural nucleus of our communities. It's our city's newest library branch, having just opened last December. And it's Chicago Housing Authority's newest mixed-use facility for the Altgeld Gardens community. What's unique about this branch is that it will not only serve the social and educational needs of this community, but also provide social supports through a daycare center, which is set to open soon. By being located within an affordable housing community, this branch will support our far South Side residents who are predominantly Black and ensure that they have plenty of opportunities at their fingertips to become whoever and whatever they want to be. It's in this spirit of empowering our residents to chase their dreams and accomplish their goals that I want to promote another exciting announcement. Applications are now open for One Summer Chicago. You'll remember that last summer, a lot of other cities in the face of the pandemic, decided it was too much. And they didn't have a summer program, a jobs program for their young people. That was not the model of Chicago. We still persevered and hired thousands of young people. And again, this summer, we are open for our young people to have meaningful summer experiences. The One Summer Chicago is a youth empowerment program that is an integral part of My CHA, My Future, our city's signature youth-focused initiative that is designed to connect our young people to meaningful out-of-school experiences. And when we first launched OSI last summer, during the height of our first COVID-19 surge, it became the largest summer youth employment program in the entire nation, employing over 20,000 young people and engaging them through virtual programming that provided in-depth insight, resources, and guidance as they pursue careers in the fields represented by the host companies participating in the program. This year, One Summer Chicago will run from July 5th to August 13th and will include remote and socially distanced in-person job and life skills training for young people ages 14 to 24, interested in fields such as coding and tech, healthcare, media, and so many other opportunities. Applications officially open March 26 and will close Friday, June 1st. And folks, with over 21,000 slots, please let me repeat that, 21,000 opportunities for our young people to participate in meaningful employment opportunities this summer. So if you're turning it in right now and are between the ages of 14, I should say if you're tuning in right now and you're the ages between 14 and 24, or know someone who is, please don't delay. Make sure you fill out that application. onesummerchicago.org. That's onesummerchicago.org. Taken together, initiatives like One Summer Chicago and resources like our public libraries provide important opportunities for residents of all ages to skill up, find financial stability, and above all else, chase their dreams. And let me just depart from my prepared remarks and talk to you a little bit about what we just experienced in our tour. People coming to this library are going to meet a staff that is energized and enthusiastic about really reaching beyond these walls to embrace the whole of this community. We just came from the space where talking to staff there, they're really interested in the social emotional development of the young men and women of this community. So I want to make sure that for the Altgeld residents, you understand that this resource is here for you. It's here for you to make it what you need it to be. And you've got a willing staff who's here to support you in every interest and endeavor. That's important. This community, unfortunately, way too many times gets forgotten. It's physically isolated from other parts of Chicago. So it's important to us to be very intentional about making sure that Altgeld is not lost in a shuffle, and that we do everything we can to make sure we're responsive to the residents of this great community. Lots is going to be happening here, but I want to make sure in particular that residents understand this is your library. This is a safe space for you, and particularly for the young people. The staff is excited and really enthusiastic, from media to the way in which they've set out the furniture to be intentional, the collection that's here. It's about supporting and reflecting the experiences of the people in this community. So I really encourage everyone to take advantage of this great opportunity. And with that, I'll turn it over to Tracey Scott, the CEO of the Chicago Housing Authority.
Thank you, Mayor Lightfoot, and also to our distinguished guests. I do want to point out two guests who are very important to this endeavor, and that is the Chicago Housing Authority Chairperson Angela Herlock and Commissioner Deborah Parker, who shares the story that the mayor talked about. She grew up in this community, and so we are honored to have her presence today to commemorate this great center. My name is Tracey Scott, and I'm CEO of the Chicago Housing Authority. And today we help open the Altgeld Library and Family Resource Center, a vital project that was made possible through a very prosperous partnership with the Chicago Public Library. I want to thank Mayor Lightfoot for her unwavering support of investments in underserved communities. I also want to thank the Chicago Public Library's new commissioner, Chris Brown. Welcome to Chicago. And I'd also like to thank the Chicago Public Library's former acting commissioner, Mary Ellen Messner, and retired library commissioner, Andrea Telly, who was the original project manager for this project before becoming library commissioner. And then also, I want to thank everybody here for your partnership and your support in making this beautiful resource center possible. Altgeld is this historic development that's on the far south side, and it's often looked upon as a city unto itself with unique characteristics and charm. But Altgeld is also described as an island, as the mayor talked about, isolated, with few precious resources that are accessible and available to the residents in this community. CHA has been working to improve the conditions at Altgeld for more than a decade, and today we have accomplished another step in reconnecting Altgeld residents to services, to opportunities, and the future that they so richly deserve. We seek, ultimately, to develop vibrant, mixed-use, mixed-income communities with services and amenities to help families thrive and to increase their potential for economic independence. And this center will offer some of those services that change lives: an early childhood learning center, a community space that we're in right now, and a library. We intentionally created a space that links early childhood learning and family resources for lifelong learning. The center provides this optimal environment where everyone, especially children, can focus, learn, develop, and dream. And this center really is a game changer for this community. This successful effort resulted from a unique collaboration that included residents, nonprofit organizations, government, lenders, financing, the city. It takes a lot of hands to make this work. And we conducted a meticulous and community planning process that engaged residents to identify the priorities for their community and to provide input on design, and through a series of town halls, site modifications, historic preservation requirements. The residents were there at every turn. So I'd like to take this moment to thank the residents, LAC President Bernadette Williams and the Altgeld community for their guidance and their patience in ensuring that residents were involved. Particular note, Ms. Williams has a company, Heaven's Way, that is owned, operated, and employs CHA residents, and they have been providing security for this site during the project. I also want to thank the Altgeld Temporary Advisory Committee, which began meeting in 2013 for the master plan and continues to meet regularly. In particular, Cheryl Johnson and the People for Community Recovery. I also would like to thank, and this is a long list, I'll go through quickly, the community builders in Sinair, Building America CDE, the AFL-CIO Housing Investment Trust for providing new market tax credits, and a worker appreciation event. The CHA team, Ann McKenzie, our Chief of Development, Tracy Sanchez, Angela Brooks, our Development Manager, who was here at every step, and Danita Childers, and Stacy Young at the Preservation Compact, Guion Foreman at the Emerald South Organization. Oh, it's a long list. And then also our architects, Koo Architects, Jackie Koo, Bruce Roth, Dan Rappel, not only for the design, but for placing a value on that resident input and feedback. And last but not least, certainly HUD, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, who continues to support CHA in its vision. Ultimately, our mission is to invest in people, not just bricks and mortar. And this is an example of the mission reaching that fruition. And best of all, this is just the beginning. When a community works together for a common purpose, the bond is formed and all is possible. So today, Altgeld Garden residents, I can say that the wait is over. Your day is here. And finally, the Altgeld Library and Family Resource Center is open for business.
Well, thank you, Mayor Lightfoot and CEO Tracey Scott. I'm honored to serve with a mayor and champion for revitalizing Chicago's neighborhoods and expanding services for all of the city. My name is Chris Brown, and as of February, I'm your Chicago Public Library Commissioner. Thank you. And today is a wonderful day as we celebrate our new Altgeld Library. I want to thank First Lady Amy Eshleman and CPL Board President Linda Johnson-Rice for their years of advocacy and support of this city's libraries. I also want to thank Foundation President Brenda Langstrat for celebrating with us today. As I look at our library's recent accomplishments, I can't help but be proud of our commitment to revitalizing libraries and expanding access. Whether partnering with Chicago Housing Authority to design and revitalize libraries, or eliminating overdue fines so every Chicagoan is ensured access, or renovating and reestablishing a regional library on the city's west side, as part of the Mayor's Invest Southwest initiative, Chicago Public Library is providing more equitable services. After all, a public library's mission is to provide free access to ideas and knowledge, whether through inspiring spaces, books, digital content, or technology. These are resources Chicagoans need every day. And with the support of Mayor Lightfoot, by the end of '21, all 81 Chicago Public Library branches in your own neighborhoods will be open on Sundays. Today I have the privilege.
I'm going to clap for that.
Okay. Thank you. Today I have the privilege of celebrating the people making Sunday hours happen in Altgeld Gardens, and I'd like to thank Nick Saunders, our manager of Altgeld Gardens, and the Altgeld team, as well as all of Chicago Public Library leadership and staff, especially as this is National Library Week. They, along with 9 other libraries, will be the first to resume our rollout of Sunday hours beginning April 18th. But I'm also excited to join you today to celebrate this new state-of-the-art facility. Thanks to an incredible partnership with Chicago Housing Authority, the city has not one, but 4 innovative developments co-located with libraries, keeping Chicagoans both housed and connected to ideas and knowledge. So on behalf of Chicago Public Library, I'd like to thank Chicago Housing Authority CEO Tracey Scott. Tracey, this wouldn't be possible without CHA's support and partnership. Thank you, Tracey. Through this partnership with Altgeld Gardens, Altgeld Gardens families will find expanded and enhanced early learning spaces for children to foster a love of reading and build those important lifelong literacy skills, which so support our co-located child care center. It's such a natural fit. Students and job seekers will find added computers, community groups will find new meeting rooms and community space, and teens will find a safe after-school space with a brand new U-Media where they can hang out, mess around, and geek out as they develop critical 21st century skills. We have a new sound recording studio, design software, and makerspace for them to enjoy. The Chicago Public Library team and I are so excited for residents to have these expanded resources just a library card away. This new Altgeld Library and our Sunday hours is a concrete step forward in our mayor's commitment to revitalizing Chicago's neighborhoods and our services. So to Mayor Lightfoot and partners here today, I'm excited about what we're building together, bringing more equitable and inspiring services to Chicago. Mayor Lightfoot, for the first time of what I know will be many, I want to thank you publicly for being a champion for our city, to all have the freedom to read, learn, and discover. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Brandy Kanazi, and it is my honor and privilege to lead the team of the Chicago Department of Family and Support Services. I'm delighted to be here today to talk about One Summer Chicago and the opportunity that it represents for thousands of youth across the city. One Summer Chicago encompasses summer job programs for youth that are available at numerous city departments and sister agencies, including the Chicago Public Library, Chicago Public Schools, the Chicago Housing Authority, After School Matters, and many more. This summer, in collaboration with our private, public, and nonprofit employers, over 21,000 paid opportunities of quality learning and skills training are available for youth ages 14 to 24. The health and safety of One Summer Chicago participants is our #1 priority. In response to the COVID-19 pandemic, last summer, the Chicago Department of Family and Support Services launched virtual programming for its One Summer Chicago participants to earn an hourly wage while learning the ins and outs of business from professionals and executives in coding and tech, healthcare, media, and more. For summer 2021, DFSS will continue to use virtual programming and is implementing in-person, socially distanced activities in compliance with public health safety guidance. One Summer Chicago 2021 begins July 5th and will conclude on Friday, August 13th. The 2021 application is now available at onesummerchicago.org. That's onesummerchicago.org, and the deadline to apply is Friday, July 11th. Returning this year under the One Summer Chicago portfolio is the Mayor's Chicago Youth Service Corps. The Mayor's Chicago Youth Service Corps is a civic service-focused program that is especially designed for young people that have experienced severe disruptions and loss of key markers in their lives due to COVID-19, including school closings, closings of summer programs, and job loss. By making life skills a development priority for young people today, we are investing in the leaders of tomorrow. Summer experiences are more than just something to do opportunities. They are a critical investment in the future of our city. We thank Mayor Lightfoot and all of our partners for their steadfast resolve to make summer jobs for youth a top priority during the COVID-19 pandemic. And we are excited to kick off our One Summer Chicago program July 5th. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It is another great day in the 9th Ward. I would like to thank the mayor for being here today to share in this joyous occasion, and First Lady, thank you for being here as well. Tracy, congratulations. I've had several extensive conversations with her about the future of Altgeld. But let me just give you all a quick overview on the scope of how we got here today. Just a few years ago, we had a small water problem in a small library we had here at Altgeld. Flooded the entire library. And so we got together with CHA, we got together with the libraries and with the city, and we put a temporary library together, and we all split it a third to bridge the gap to make sure the community still had access to the amenities that libraries bring to our community. And so at that time, the community was extremely desperate for a new facility, and we went to work desperately to bridge the gap to get a state-of-the-art facility here in the community. One thing about the community of Altgeld, which everyone will learn, they don't take no for an answer. And so years ago, when you look at the wonderful facility we have here today, Altgeld Gardens was left out of the original plan of transformation. And we worked hard to get it in that plan, and what you see today is over $435 million of investment in this community. And so we're excited. We're excited to see this community on the rebound. And this library is just another key to that puzzle that we need to put in place. Now, while we're always grateful to have our mayor here, but I can't let her get away without a big ask of what we need going forward. And that is a grocery store in this community. And we are working desperately to make sure that everyone in this community has access to fresh produce. And so the community is not going to sit back and allow another day to go by, Tracy, until we get us a new grocery store in this area. And we have our partner in the audience, By the Hands organization, who is working with us to bring a grocery store in the area and bring some more amenities into the community. And we're extremely excited about that. And so while we're extremely excited to have everybody here today, I cannot be remiss if I cannot say the unwavering support we had from our prior CEO, Gene Jones, who was over CHA. He helped spearhead a lot of what we are seeing here today, along with our former mayor, who helped allocate a lot of the funds to get us to where we are. So thank you all so much. God bless you for being here. The Altgeld Gardens community is on the rebound, and there are great things yet to come. Thank you so much.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for each and every one of you for being here with us today. We are pleased to be able to welcome those of you that have been with us for years and those of you who are new to the community. My name is Eshleman Grams. I live here in Altgeld Gardens. I'm happy this day has finally come. When I was younger, my mom would say this library is too small. Now it's not only large, but it's very nice. And it's more than just a library. It's a resource center, and it has a daycare. And it will not help. Oh, I'm sorry.
Take your time. Take your time.
It has a resource center and a daycare that will help my family and other families as well, especially since I have children, ages 2 and 10 months. Thank you for making this library happen, and thank you for letting me speak today.
All right, happy to take your questions. None? Okay, thank you. Great day.
Mayor, this morning the Chicago Teachers Union asking for you to delay the opening from high schools by a week. They are also saying that the reports of COVID in schools has not been publicly disclosed. Can you give us some kind of reaction to that?
Well, as you know, we went through a very protracted but ultimately successful negotiation with the CTU to reopen schools for pre-K through 8. As part of that negotiation, in writing, we set forth a plan for when schools would open, but also, if the conditions warranted, when we would close, by classroom, by school, and by district. That's already baked into the plan, so we're going to follow the plan. There's no basis for us to renegotiate that. The terms are ones that were agreed to by the CTU just a matter of a few weeks ago. I see no basis for delay, and it's my expectation that we're going to be opening up high schools as indicated by CPS. And on the second part, we have been extraordinarily transparent about any issues where we see workplace spread, and that's no different in the schools. In talking to Dr. Arty, our Public Health Commissioner, multiple times a day, including this morning, I'm not aware of any issues that would warrant triggering the closure requirements that are in the agreement that CTU negotiated and agreed to. So we move forward.
Next question, the baby that was shot yesterday on Lakeshore Drive. Chicago expressways continue to be plagued by shootings. There were 2 on Easter Sunday, 1 last night on I-57. That makes 57 shootings so far this year, nearly 3 times the same as last year. No other American city faces this level of highway violence. What is happening and how is the city attempting to address it? Should people be concerned about their own safety on the highways here in Chicago?
Well, look, unfortunately, what we've seen is incidents of, yesterday was really road rage. And I mentioned this when I addressed this in remarks yesterday. It's astounding to me that people have so little regard for human life in general. It's particularly astounding to me when people have so little regard to human life when there are children as passengers in cars, as we saw yesterday. I'll push back a little bit that, unfortunately, we are continuing to see, not only in Chicago, but across the country, an increase in violence in cities that we saw really, I think, arising from the pandemic. We are constantly calibrating our deployments across the city, both based upon historic trends, but also more recent data. But the issues on the highways are real. That's why we have to have continued partnership with the state police and the sheriff's police to make sure that we're doing everything we can. But fundamentally, I said this yesterday, we are ultimately fighting a losing battle if there is not common sense gun control. This is something that only the federal government can enact. We are proximate to Indiana, and a lot of the guns that end up on the streets in Chicago come from places like Indiana and other states that have very lax gun laws, whether it's in background checks, whether it's a number of guns you can buy, how they can move from one person to another. We constantly see what we call crime guns, guns that were purchased but end up on the street in a crime within 3 years. We are going to continue to fight the fight here in Chicago, but we have to have help from the federal government. If you can go over the border in Indiana and literally buy military-grade weapons at any quantity that you want, if you got the dollars to pay for it, what does that mean for the safety of our city? So public safety isn't just something that the police department owns. We all have to own some responsibility for it, but we need some help from the federal government because there are too many people who have ill intentions that are getting access to firearms, and we've got to have the federal authorities step up, starting with passing universal background checks. This is something that a number of people have been fighting for at the federal level, and I'm hopeful now with a Democratic president who supports it and 2 chambers of Congress that are controlled by Democrats, will actually finally get it done. And then I think we'll be better situated to bring more peace to our city because we're going to stop the flow of illegal guns onto our streets.
I had another one from a colleague. Would you want?
No, go ahead.
All right. On Monday, you said that Adam Toledo was holding a gun. How do you know that if you hadn't seen the video?
I think what I said was that somebody put a gun in his hand. And obviously, as I indicated, while I have not seen the video, I've clearly gotten a significant number of briefings about the circumstances there. But I won't say more because I don't want to get ahead of or unduly influence COPA investigation, the detective investigation, and the state's attorney investigation.
Is there any kind of scheduling yet announced of when the family will see the video and when will it be released?
That's a question that you have to ask of COPA. I will say that I'm frustrated that it hasn't happened yet. I think that Ms. Toledo deserves some answers. And she's obviously expressed an interest in seeing multiple videos, and I think she has a right to, so I'm hoping that gets scheduled sooner rather than later.
I want to talk about vaccinations, and I know you did talk about
Can you just introduce yourself?
Oh, I'm sorry. Diane Pathew with Channel 7 News, ABC 7. And I know you did talk about this yesterday, but I want to talk about the mid-April date of the 19th, vaccinating those 16 and up. With these variants now affecting children more, and even our numbers in Chicago going up,
Well, we
something?
haven't seen variants affecting, I just want to be careful about the language. What we've seen in other parts of the country
Correct.
as children, an uptick in Michigan is one where you're seeing children, and I classify that as under 17, getting sick with COVID. That's been very limited in Chicago, so I don't want to overgeneralize.
Correct. So I'm talking about across the country. Is that something you would reconsider, bringing that date back a little bit to include 16 and up, especially when we talk about bringing high schoolers back to schools?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
So right now, the vaccination for 16 and up is April 19th, correct?
Right.
Is that something you would reconsider, that date, if the numbers continue to tick upwards?
Look, I'd love to reconsider that date, but we don't have enough vaccine. And I don't want to create expectations for folks that we can't fill. We don't have enough vaccine. And given the incident at the Johnson & Johnson plant, the amount of vaccine that we actually depended upon is going to be less in exactly that time. We thought in April we'd see a significant increase in the amount of weekly doses that we're getting, but unfortunately we're not seeing that. We're flat, and we may be a little down in the next couple of weeks. So we've got to do things based upon the supply, and the difference between the 12th and the 19th, in my view, is not significant. But we want to get as many people vaccinated as possible, but that's really going to, again, to be dependent upon supply, which, as you know, we have no control over.
Mayor, off topic, if you don't mind, there's a new survey out that's been done for ABC7 and Cranes in the Daily Line called the Chicago Index. And one of the things,
I'm sorry?
it's called the Chicago Index, and it's a survey of more than 2,100 residents of Chicago for how government is working and things they're satisfied with or not satisfied with. 73% of the respondents said that Chicago is heading in the wrong direction, and only 16% say that you are doing a good or excellent job as mayor. Can you respond to that, and do you think priorities need to be rethought?
I'm not surprised by any of that. Look, we're living in a time where people are really uncertain, and there's a lot of anger out there. And we see that, unfortunately, played out in the toxic swamp of social media. What I know is we've got to keep focused on making sure that we're saving people's lives, we're educating people about what they can do to protect themselves from the pandemic, and to continue to work on a robust recovery. That's what I'm focused on. I see polls, obviously we do our own polling, which is, I think, different than what we've seen there. But the fact of the matter is, these are very uncertain times for folks. When you see the number of people that have lost their jobs, lost businesses, are fearful for their own health, it's not surprising that people are feeling that weight on them. They've been feeling it for a year plus. So we've got to just keep doing everything that we can to keep people safe from the pandemic, make sure that we're creating opportunities for jobs and a very robust recovery, and the rest of it will take care of itself.
We're talking about schools here this morning. 75% of the respondents said that they believe Chicago public schools are doing only a satisfactory, or they're either unsatisfied with it, how it's walking. What more can be done to improve Chicago public schools so more people actually have confidence in them?
Well, I think we got to get schools open. What we've seen amongst the parents who have come back is incredible enthusiasm. What I hear from parents across the city is thank you for fighting for our kids and reopening the schools because it's made a significant difference. The number of moms who have had to give up their livelihoods to be home and be the homeschooler has had a significant impact on the quality of life in the families. So I think a big piece of what we've got to do is continue to push forward to open up schools and then create, and once schools are open, create out-of-school activities so that young people and children have the opportunity to participate in meaningful activities. As I said, this has been a very difficult, hard year on everyone. People are stressed, people are depressed, people are angry. And you have to, as a leader, understand that and make sure that you are responding to the needs that are there. But moments in time is not the arc of where our city is. And I've seen tremendous number of people who have stepped up, even in this very difficult time, to serve their neighbor. Events like this, I think, give people hope and inspiration that the city has not left them. So we're going to continue to persevere. We're continuing to engage with folks at the grassroots level all across the city. And I think there is a dynamic that is out there that may not be captured. I don't know the specifics of this particular survey, but there's a dynamism, I think, that's out there that people feel like hope is coming. Part of it, obviously, is the vaccine. I was just at a vaccination event last night with Holocaust survivors who have been through a tremendous amount in their life, who are grateful to be able to get the vaccine. And 600 volunteers in a community, the Orthodox community on the north side. Those people are volunteering because they care about their neighbors, they care about their community, and they're out there to make sure that their communities are protected. I'm seeing that all over the city in a rallying of spirit to protect each other and neighbors. That's the kind of polling that makes a difference to me. When you see that and the sacrifice that's being made, it tells you that things are headed in the right direction.
Alderman Beal, can I just ask one question of Alderman Beal while he's here? Alderman Beal, if I could. This same survey that did not rate the mayor well rated the city council even worse. 0% thought that the city council was doing a good job, and only 7% thought good. So we're looking at 93% of those surveys saying city council is doing a fair or poor job. Can you respond to that?
Well, again, I would have to see the survey and who did the survey, but I will tell you that people are looking for the city council to exert their authority a little bit more as far as what's going on with the city. And we're going to continue to do that, and we have to work with the mayor in order to obtain that goal, and we're going to continue to move forward with what's best for the city of Chicago.
Do you think it's an unfair rating for the city council?
Again, I haven't seen it. I'm just going by what you said.
All right, thanks. Could I ask one from Eshleman who said
I expect to see some summer festivals, and yes, the planning is underway, as you might imagine. Logistics, booking, ticketing takes a lot of advanced lead time. We're not ready to announce those plans yet, but I expect that, as I've said many times, summer of 2021 will look more like 2019 and less like 2020. But again, a lot of it's going to depend on where we are in the arc of this virus. And I can't believe I almost got away with a press conference and not saying, wear your mask, social distance, wash your hands, stay diligent. We are still in this fight for our lives, and we've got to make sure that people don't relax. People don't think that the virus is over. And I'm going to say this particularly for young people. We've talked a lot about seeing that increase in cases in the predominantly white neighborhoods on the north side. But I also want to say to black folks, particularly young black folks, 18 to 39, get the vax. Get the vaccine. Do it for yourself. Do it for your mom, your dad, your grandma, your family. You are not immune. You must get the vaccine too. We are opening up opportunity, and we need to see young black people signing up, going in, and getting shots in arms. Thank you.